Hi, David Christian from the Modern Martial Artist here. I just found this out. This is insane. So basically, Miocic and Cormier are going to be on different teams of the Ultimate Fighter, and then what really matters is at the end they're gonna fight each other. DC is gonna go up to heavyweight, which is no problem at all for him and never will be. So that's not really even a factor in if you're considering what's going to happen with the fight. What's interesting about this fight is that they're both great strikers and they're both amazing wrestlers. Obviously, you have to know that. And it's just going to be really interesting because DC is so good about they go about it in different ways, right? So DC is really good at combining his wrestling and his striking together, but that leaves a weakness. And I'll do a breakdown of him versus Ozdemir probably in a day or two, so you could kind of see what I'm talking about. But everyone knows how Jones knocked him out at this point. Where and it's not just that particular kick and that particular slip to where DC tends to open up his guard, and the reason he does that is so he could grab onto you because he's a wrestler, and sometimes he doesn't want to do that and he does it anyways because it's a habit. But it also has helped him out in so many more times than it's ever hurt him. He'll slip and then or he'll duck and he'll open his guard and he'll put that hand out kind of probing, but then that's fine because gets a single leg or he gets a double leg, or he with his hook he turns his hook into a collar tie all the time. Sometimes he does it with an open hand even, but usually it's a tight fist, and then if the guy kind of ducks into it, he'll grab him and he'll either do a traditional collar tie, or he'll just kind of get him in his elbow like a big brother coming in, and just before he's about to give you a noogie or something. Except obviously it's what he does is much more painful than that. So he is amazing and managed to kind of outdo Jones at times because John Jones does the same thing at Dirty Boxing with just combining the striking and the grappling together to supplement each other, which is where I think the future of the sport is going towards. I think it used to be very possible, very, very possible to have great striking, great stand-up, and then just have amazing defense. Sprawl and brawl, obviously the classic, but going past that, actually being legitimately good at grappling, takedown defense, and getting back to your feet, and all of that stuff used to be able to be amazing defensively at one thing, even if it's wrestling, offensive wrestling, and then great defensive maneuvers and stand-up. Nowadays, it's heading towards everything supplementing each other. And Miocic does this too, but in a different way. It's rare to see him, unless he's up against the cage or whatever, or in that range. He's usually a much cleaner striker. He doesn't turn his strikes into anything else. He doesn't turn them into frames. He'll stiff arm and circle out the side, like Ali used to do all the time. But as a matter of fact, I didn't make this comparison because their movement is so different. I know people are gonna go like, "What are you talking about? That's really dumb." But his angles, the ways in which he was escaping in his last fight really reminded me of Ali. The way he'd come in with his right, slide his rear foot up, and then exit out the side, or the way that he'd pull counter and exit out the other way or step back is just very Muhammad Ali like strategy, if not movement. If his movement quality isn't reminiscent of that, his strategy for exiting exchanges are. So he'll keep his punches clean for the most part. I mean, obviously he's going to combine it with wrestling too, but not near as much as the way DC does it, because DC does it in a way to where it helps him more than it hurts him, but it does give him that vulnerability of that probing hand coming out when he's slipping or ducking, in order to establish a takedown or a tie or an arm drag or whatever the hell he's looking to do. Whereas Miocic is more about incorporating clean head movement and then clean strikes, clean pulls, clean parries, and then setting it up like a combination. So with him, you want to think about like how he's not even really feinting, but just one thing sets up the other, but they're all clean. It's a clean jab, it's a clean cross, it's a clean double leg. Whereas DC will turn his strikes into those things. So the interesting question is, will Miocic be able to capitalize on that? because he doesn't need to be as worried about DC's blend of striking and grappling, because he's already an amazing grappler. You know, if DC gets a collar tie or you know, some underhooks or whatever, gets his back, whatever the hell he wants to do, he doesn't, off of his strikes, he's not in as much danger as most of DC's opponents when he does that. Whereas DC will need to worry very much about how he opens himself up in order to facilitate wrestling opportunities along with his striking opportunities, which he blends together so insanely beautiful. I love how when DC ducks to the outside, he could either be coming right back up to you with an overhand right, or he could take that same hand and go for a single leg, or he could go from overhand right to a double leg. It's really whatever he wants to do, and he's so versatile. So it's two different approaches, incorporating striking and grappling together in a beautiful way from both of them. And man, I think first reaction, don't judge me too hard because I haven't had the chance to go over it in my head, to look at footage, see where both of them are going to be, what their strategy is mostly going to be, what they're going to do. I haven't had time yet. I just heard about this and was so excited I wanted to do a podcast. But I think DC will win. And that's, like I said, that's just based on gut instinct and my experience watching both of them fight. But I could change my mind. I could very easily change my mind. But either way, this is going to be such an amazing fight for the UFC, for MMA as a whole, for fans of both people. And I cannot wait. I need to check out the dates. I need to check out when the season's coming to an end, when it's going to start, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments section, who you think is going to win. If you say any racist shit, by the way, I'm just going to ban you. There's a tool where you just ban people from commenting forever. So you'll still comment, but no one will ever see your comment. So keep that shit out of the comments. Everything else is fair game, though. Talk about anything you want, and just let me know your opinion and what you think of it. So yeah, I'm stoked. I'm really psyched. I'm hyped up for this. I know you guys are too, and I can't wait. New video out soon, and happy training.